the Titans. And this one, it's important that we get the phrasing right.
Yeah.
They have not cut Vic Beasley yet.
Right.
They're going to cut Vic Beasley today, and there's an important reason why they're going to cut Vic Beasley today. If they cut him yesterday, he becomes a free agent, and he can collect the balance of his $3.5 million salary from the Titans as termination pay, go play for someone else and double dip. And he already got a $6 million signing bonus from the Titans. Now, he may have had to give some of it back because he was AWOL for a couple of weeks at the start of camp. But if they cut him today, which is what they're going to do, that salary passes through waivers. The contract goes through waivers. That's one of the key differences post-trade deadline. All players, regardless of experience, now must go through waivers. And maybe someone will look at the balance of his salary, $1.85 million over the next 9 weeks, and say, we'll take that. We'll pick up that contract. And if they do, the Titans avoid paying the guy another $1.85 million. That's why he wasn't released yesterday. That's why the report was he will be released today. The Titans are hoping that maybe the Seahawks, who could use help at the pass rush, or any other team that's looking for a pass rusher, will say, we'll spend the $1.85 million to get dibs on this guy. Otherwise, we have to go sign him as a free agent.
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense there from what Tennessee did. There's definitely going to be some teams that I think are going to do their due diligence on Vic Beasley. You know, Vic Beasley, though, the big thing is just going to be about him, the human being. Is he invested into football right now? You know, those are things that I know about the situation. It's more of a personal thing that held Vic Beasley out through training camp when he was a no-show and those type of things. He's trying to figure out where he wanted to go in his life, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to, judge or anything like that. But I think, again, for teams to claim him on waivers, that'll be the big part of this story. I mean, he did nothing for the Tennessee Titans. That's not going to make teams feel very warm and cozy about, oh, let's give the guy $1.8 million, a guy who didn't show up at training camp, and then, they tried to slowly infuse him into the lineup, and it didn't really take, and he didn't really do anything, and then it became basically we don't even play him here at the very end. And this is a team, too, that is pass rush deficient. So I think that will scare teams away, too, ultimately, because they're going to go, wait, the Titans, one of the worst things on their team is their pass rush, and they're letting go of a pass rusher, so there must be a real issue there, and we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, that's always been my understanding. Vic Beasley, just going through some things there, figuring out what direction he wants to go in his life, and we'll see what happens. But I don't think anybody will claim him on waivers just because of the things I just stated there.
25% of the defensive snaps he participated in, 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits. So something's not right there. And look, everyone has issues that come up from time to time, and we wish Vic Beasley the best in navigating them. It's just unfortunate that the Titans gave him a 1-year, $9.5 million contract with a signing bonus of $6 million.
Right.
And, you're either all in or you're not, and I know things can happen after you sign that contract that make you not all in, and you're trying to navigate life, and of all years, this is the toughest year to navigate the various challenges. It's just unfortunate for everyone involved, and the Titans decided that they want to try to cut the losses, stop the financial bleeding, and instead of cutting him yesterday and walking right into that $1.85 million rake, they are waiting to today and hoping that someone will say, it's worth the gamble in the event that we can get this guy in the right mindset for the rest of the season. We can give him a place where he feels like his concern. And again, I'm not saying the Titans were not sufficiently sensitive to his concerns, but, anytime there's a guy who fails in one city for whatever reason, Chris, you know this.
Yeah.
There's another coach out there who thinks, I can say the right thing. I can do the right thing. I can fix it.
Right.
I can help this guy fix it.
Right.
And in return, I'm going to get a great player. And that's exactly the attitude that Pete Carroll would have.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right. We'll get him up here. He'll see this place. He'll feel our energy. He'll want to play. He'll want to do it. Certainly. You're right. I mean, hey, listen, look, Tampa, they're doing the same thing. I mean, it's Antonio Brown. Oh, yeah, I think we can fix him. We got Tom Brady. He'll help. We got some coaches from the Pittsburgh roster that were there when he was there. That'll help. So, yes, that same idea, I'm sure they're going to seriously think about that because, I mean, again, we know Seattle is obviously in the Super Bowl window. And it's not that their defense has to make some remarkable jump. It just has to go from, like, let's get into the 20s, the low 20s in total defense instead of 31 or 32, and it'll make their team so much better. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Vic Beasley, though, that's risky, I think, for those teams, and they're going to have to do their due diligence on, how invested he is in the game right now.
Yeah, and look, the financially safer course is to let him become a free agent.
Right.
And sign him to a contract that protects you against him not working out. If you want to cut him at some point, whatever the case may be, you're not on the hook for $1.85 million. The risk, though, is if you let him pass through waivers, he may not want to come play for you. And maybe we're at the point where he should just pick his next team. It shouldn't be
right.
Guy gets snatched on waivers amid a pandemic and has to move to Seattle unless that's where he wants to go. If it's where he wants to go, that's a different issue. But complicated situation for the Titans and for Vic Beasley, and they've found a way out of it. Now, what in the world is wrong with the Titans' pass rush? They have Jadeveon Clowney. They have Jeffrey Simmons. Why can't they get to the quarterback, especially when they played a team last weekend that had 80% turnover in its starting offensive line because of injury?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was one of the surprise, shocks of the weekend. First off, I mean, I watched this film yesterday. I did. I mean, the Bengals offensive line, they did a pretty good job. Now, the real story of the day, though, is, one, Zach Taylor had a very good game plan. He wasn't going to let Joe Burrow sit back there all day long and, throw the ball deep down the field and plays like that where it's going to take a long time to develop and let the pass rush get off. They stayed very consistent with short passing game, get the ball out of your hands. The pass rush is getting better there in Tennessee. Now, between Zach Taylor and then the main thing, which is Joe Burrow is freaking awesome. He's slippery as hell. He breaks and gets away from more damn sacks than just about anybody in football that way. And there was a lot of opportunities in the game. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And this is very important, far more important than any analysis you're about to provide.
Right.
I am directing you to come up with a Joe Burrow song, and I think Slippery as Hell needs to be part of it.
Okay. I'll try to work that in. But, that was really – I was encouraged, actually, by the Titans' pass rush in the game overall. On plays when he had to wait for something to develop, hey, Clowney got close a lot. Simmons is really a good player, and they tried their best to double-team him and do that. But Clowney's best thing is not necessarily a top-tier pass rusher. He's a top-tier disruptor. That's really what he is. He's not the kind of guy that's going to bend around the corner like Von Miller, get sack after sack. He can't even really do that because of the microfracture knee he has. That's one of the issues why teams don't want to pay him long-term contracts. So from that aspect, he can collapse the pocket and cause disruption. He's not a sack master. Harold Landry on the other side is a real good football player. He does everything well, but he's just not a superstar pass rusher that way either. And, yeah, they're still trying to find their way there, and they need Clowney to stay healthy for consecutive weeks. That'll be the other thing, too. It can't be, Jadeveon played a good game, now his knee and he's bothered for 2 weeks. And, yeah, he played, but he played at like 70%. And, now he's back to awesome. And then, man, he's down to 70% again. That's the issue, too, sometimes with Tennessee. And, we'll see where it goes. But it's certainly an issue on their football team.
And it's unfortunate for Clowney. He's never gotten that truly gigantic contract he deserved. He was drafted 3 years after the rookie wage scale was put in place, and he seems destined to be a one-year-at-a-time barnstormer from team to team, city to city, somebody who gets infatuated by what he can do when healthy and is willing to tolerate the moments when he isn't.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.